Oh, hello everybody, and welcome to Farming Sim 17 and Oakfield Farm. This is the newest map available by Oxygen David, creator of Chellington and Chellington Extended, and I think he had some work in part of the creation of Cobra Park as well. I think that possibly a Bullet Bill one. And Thornton, Sandy Bay, and now Oakfield. So I have been on connected properly. Yeah. So yes, I've been on in single player just to sort the season's settings. But other than that, I haven't done anything else. I've set up Streamlabs chatbot. Anybody already in chat, you'll see that there is bot Mjolnir, as in Thor's hammer. It's, like heaviest hammer ever kind of thing. So that's the ban hammer, the moderator hammer. Yeah, I'm trying to put it in a position where I'd be able to the chat messages still. Just have to leave it as that. That should be fine. Right, so let's jump in and have a look around. I've only ran around the farm a little bit, and changed the seasons menu to. Hasn't done it. Should have changed to Celsius, but it didn't. I didn't save it after changing to Celsius. So let me just change to Celsius and reload the map. Right, load back in. Now we have a bit of equipment to start off with. I am going to change a few bits around and give us a little bit extra to begin with, possibly as well. But we do start with some pretty good stuff. I think we've got a 7700 series or thereabouts. Massey Ferguson. We've also got a Massey Ferguson combine. There's a pickup truck which I'm likely going to sell, and then there's some other equipment around. Right, so here we are. Now, one of the most recent updates, obviously, with it now being released, is that the Christmas tree isn't here. I believe it was in that plant pot slash bin or whatever. But anybody who's seen people streaming that are testers of the map will have been aware of a Christmas tree that was in the house. That is gone. So let's pop outside. We'll go. So there's the pickup truck, and shutters are down. Nope. Let's leave that door open for now. So we've got a Massey Ferguson. It's a 8727. We've also got the Massey Ferguson 7347 combine. We've got the trailed sprayer. Have the Massey Ferguson header on a header trailer there. Front weight, which I'll probably get rid of and switch out for an Agco weight just because I prefer the style. It's up there. Possibly have stuff in the lower half of the yard. We'll see if there's this one. Oh, okay. We have a single rear mower. And there's our seeder. So first things first is I'm going to move the seeder. I don't want it in that little shed. And pleased to say that the scripts Oxygen Javid and other people have been working on to improve performance on the maps in the yard certainly seems to be working, because you know what my performance is often like, and it'll vary depending on the foliage as well, but we can work on that. I can remove trees as we go. Foliage we can work with. Oh, we've got the fence in here. Is that going to catch? Yep. Just close the lid on the seeder. Two front weights, and we do have a plough. That was my next question. I was going to say I hadn't seen a plough. Do have one. Which is good. Pretty much. 20 FPS in this area of the farm, in case you're wondering, for me. So, anybody who's seen my streams before, to be getting that in a farmyard, it's good. Me. I say the challenge on this map, as with any of the other maps, will be when we go to any area where there's an excessive amount of foliage and things. Right, but we'll put that there in the shed under cover instead of it being where it is. Does that lift up? No. Apparently that is me opening the door. That looks very much closed to me. Those texts are possibly the wrong way around, unless that's... Yeah, that certainly looks closed rather than open. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Right. So let's get rid of this weight. Get the Fent in a second and pick up the other weight as well, because I also want. We have a New Holland baler here, but it is the yellow baler, and as I've said before, most New Holland equipment is actually orange, and the New Holland tractors tend to be blue. You can get them in other colours, and yellow and blue are New Holland colours as well. But I do have a modded version of this that's in orange. So if anything, we may swap out to that, just because then we're using a mod rather than using base game stuff. Right, what's the best way to the shop from here? That's the main entrance ahead of us there, so that's the entrance we'll use. There is another entrance. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's shut that one down a second. We'll go get the Fent. I'm going to keep that single mower for now. Of course, the Fent is light green instead of being the darker Fent green that I prefer, but that's nothing too major there. I can change that if I really want to, or I could just keep it as it is. So, it's a cloudy start to this spring season. That is going to mean poorer visibility. Right. Is there anything that's worth any money? Sometimes on maps there are, although it does seem that the first day has been altered deliberately here to stop cash injections. Sunflowers are definitely better the second day rather than the first. Soybean, corn, potatoes are good, but we don't have any. Sugarcane, we don't have any. Slurry, we don't have any. Wool, we don't have any. Wood chips, we don't have any. Silage, we don't have any. Bales, we don't have any. Animals, we don't have any. Pellets, we don't have any yet, but we will do. There's also oat, rye, spelt, and millet stuff on here as well. So let's get the trailer. Oh. I left enough room? No, I have not. This road's a private road, farm access only, so the fact that the yard gate is open there doesn't really mean too much. Should be okay. But yeah, as you can see with the cloud rolling in, view distance not very big at all. So yeah, overhanging trees like that probably be a priority for me to remove. Let's have a look at how much these fields cost as well, see what the land value is. 117,000 for a pretty big field. Seems reasonable. Beacons on now that we're on the main road, we're no longer on private road. Yeah, so the frame rate's dropped a little bit now that we're out on the out of the farm. It's down to the trees, foliage, the fact that traffic is turned on, and those kind of things. That's to be expected. That's Corberley. I believe that's another entrance to our farm. We can go up that track there as another entrance. That leads into the lower area, and then if we go left on this road, there's then another entrance, a back track into the yard as well. We go all the way along here to the next left. Fence keeping up, good. Fog isn't helping FPS either. If it was just low view distance, that would be more okay, but the fact that it's low cloud does challenge it somewhat. Got what, a junction to the right coming up. And now entering Seven Springs. Roundabout system up ahead. This is the pig farm, I believe. Pig yard? Yep. So this is where the pigs and the chickens are. It's also a sell point for something. That is Oakfield Glen Barn. They take. I'm guessing those are straw sell points. That wood chips. That's bees. Yeah, straw, but it's currently 0. Okay. Yeah, that's the pigs, the cows. There's also a refuel spot there as well, so we won't have to go all the way back to the yard to refuel. Should have a roundabout coming up soon. Here it is. Yep, road. Frame rate really dropping here, but there's a lot of detail. Items, and you've got the fog. Isn't going to be helping. Just hit a lamppost. Now there is, if anybody's been watching other people do streams and videos on YouTube, all that kind of stuff, when we go down here on the right hand side as we go down, there is a burger trailer in this lay-by here. So what I might do, in fact what I will do, is we'll stop there on the way back. And we will get stores on the left. I've gone past it. We've got the fence behind us though, that's the trouble. Right, we'll go into this yard on the right, turn around, come back out. We'll go in there, we'll grab something to eat kind of thing, and I'll pass a bit of time. He took it tighter than I did. It helps if you have your lights on, mate, then I would have seen you. Probably, well, yeah, definitely taken that too tight. If I got caught on it, the worker's bound to get caught on it. I'm not looking in front of me and I'm getting hit by traffic. We'll just let him get caught on the fence. We'll come back and deal with him in a second. So we're getting rid of the trailer and the front weight because I'm going to buy new front weights. Put both in. Also going to pay off any loan that we start with as well. Just because I want our finances to be as good as they can be at the start. Well, either that or I max out the loan and or almost max out the loan. I need to leave us some emergency fund available without having to use cheap money. Right, we should get quite a bit for this though. 1,000, bad. Right, so we do have a plough at the yard. It's a small one-ish. It's only 2 meters, but that's good enough for the Fent, I believe. 120 horsepower needed. Our Fent has 165. Is that Fent upgraded? It's a 700. Uh, 165 is the base model, so that's fine. This is 300, so the Massey Ferguson definitely is our main tractor at the moment. So we're spring of year 1 at the moment, so priority is going to be on ploughing, cultivating, and seeding. We have a direct drill, so we don't need to cultivate and seed. We can do it all in one go. I don't think we even have a cultivator. No, we do have the pickup truck that we can get rid of. Right, so let's get trailer. Go modded. Case of which one do I want to go for? We've got Heron, Red Rock, Stewart, Brantner. We've got all sorts of stuff we can go for. West trailers, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, you can change this. So this is a Marston trailer. Change it to Wootton, Griffiths, a Salop, Massey Ferguson trailer, or keep it Marston. Capacity of that is 16,000. Capacity 16,500. So there's not much in it. I've been using the Heron trailers quite a bit recently. So yeah, let's go Marsden. And we'll get the one with the same coloured chassis. Get it in yellow. Set up. Get flotation, rims. We're going to leave as they are. We'll have it as a Massey trailer, as we've got a Massey tractor as our main tractor, and the top sheet can black. Buy that. See what that looks like. Certainly stands out. I quite like that. So, Massey Ferguson decals on it. It is a Marston trailer. Right. Oh yeah, we want front weights as well. So let's get a... Do I have any Fent? Okay. Agco it is then. Let's get a 1.1 ton Fent. In the dark Fent green. Also going to repaint the Fent. I want it in the darker colours. $1,000 to respray it, but that's because we're paying the worker $1,000. If we'd have done it at the farm, it would have been cheaper. But as we're here picking up the weight, it makes sense to do it down here. Do we have any loan? Yes, 75,000. Let's cheap money on. Let's pay off the loan. And cheap money off. I got those as greens. I have. Already paid for this to be painted, so until I can get the right colour, I'm just going to do that. Customize. It's either going to be that one or this one. What I'm thinking. That's looking pretty close. That's close enough. Right, so this little Fent we're going to be taking back and putting the plough on the back. The Massey is going to take the trailer back. I'm not going to bother getting a weight for the Massey yet because this is a big tractor. I'm going to run with beacons off just for the sake of frame rate. Especially while it's cloudy anyway. so go on. Sit in the tractor and eat that. It's burger or bacon buddy or whatever for breakfast. Speed up time a bit. We'll also connect to simulator radio. And increase time. We'll go to about 9:45. Right, so back to the farm. The AI don't seem bothered about having headlights on and stuff at the minute, so I'm not going to have mine on. And that truck has randomly stopped. Now he started again. Maybe he thought I cut him off or something. Right, so we'll go back the back way, which will be the first right-hand turn. We go down the road down there. If I could actually turn. Yeah, thanks, truck. Just what I needed. Jet, welcome to the stream. Yeah, usual farming sim physics rules apply. Come on. There was one truck behind us a second ago, and it got in between. We stopped for that one truck to come past, and now there's like 5 more cars and different stuff. Scripted to go quite slow as well, even though this road is actually signposted as a 50. You can't do variable traffic speeds, so regardless of what the road signs say, the traffic will be at whatever speed that they're set at for the map. Which is kind of unfortunate, but that's how it works. Farming simulator is 10. Yeah, well, you can change the speed, but they can only have one speed across the entire map. I think, actually, saying that, the traffic. Have I just missed my turn? Are we not at it? No, we're not at it. We're not at it yet. I don't think. Did I miss it? No, it's down here. See those black bars there? That means that this road is now de-restricted speed-wise. Well, it doesn't. Well, that's what it used to mean. That sign now means national speed limit, which depends on the type of road you're on. Now, this is what I would consider an A road, probably. So we have A roads, B roads, C roads, and M roads, and M is motorways. So that national speed limit actually means, it used to mean you go as fast as your car could go, but that's when that sign was invented. Cars could only do like 65 to 80 mile an hour. Whereas now, obviously, they can do a lot more. So the phrase national speed limit does depend on the type of road. This road, you're probably looking at 60 mile an hour speed limit down here, because it's not a dual carriageway. If it was a dual carriageway, so 2 lanes going both ways, you'd be looking at 70 mile an hour, same as motorway speeds. But we're not. Now this, single track, but it's 2-way traffic. This would be a C road. A roads and B roads are 2-lane. Anything less than 2-lane, basically if there aren't white markings up the middle, then it's a C road. Need to increase the distance this guy's following because his brakes are dreadful. Yeah, certainly going to be coming down here and taking some trees out on that corner to improve visibility. We have a beacon on the back of the trailer, I just noticed as well. Right, well, chat, I don't know if anybody else is in stream at the minute. Nobody else has been talking. I can check the viewer list out, actually. According to my viewer list, you're the only person there at the moment, other than my chatbot. The chatbot can't really do anything at the minute. Well, not for Farming Sim anyway, because I haven't got it set up. Make this turn here, and then we need to hop out and open the gates. And then, so this is all part of the farm, and then this track round the back here leads to the actual yard. So there's a house up at the farm, and that's where we spawned in. There's also these cottages down here. Looks like there's been some barn conversions going on here, maybe. That's certainly an old stable door. Been some barn stable conversions here, and the church is here as well. Village well there. But yeah, this is an entrance that we have access to. This track off to the right does go to our yard. Another gate. You wait there. I need to back up. Didn't realise that there was another gate. I suppose it kind of makes sense though, because this track is what leads to our land, whereas that is the village area. These still say Rip Chellington on them, or they got something else on them now. There is something written across the bottom of those, but I can't tell what it says. There's several of them seem to have different lines across them, so it's not whether they're actually doing the music. Cool. Turn the radio off. That's a really cool touch. that you can hear the church organ. And some churches, the church organs are this loud. You can hear them from outside. You can be walking past and you can hear them. Any church with a bell tower, the bells are especially loud. I mean, they did used to, and some churches still do, ring the bells to say, right, it's time for church kind of thing. A bit like the Muslims have their prayer call. Some churches ring out the bells to announce that there's a church service starting. It's cool. I don't know if it plays the same track every time, or whether it's got a selection of tunes that it plays, but nice to hear. Bit of organ music there. Let's put our radio back on. He's still on wait. Let's him. So, this flat land here isn't actually a field. It could be ploughed and turned into a field, but it isn't a field. It's designed for putting placeable buildings on. So I've got a barn down here just next to it as well, which is possibly where I'm going to put this trailer, just because it's going to be easy to get into. Right. Wait there, buddy. So yeah, you can see it's within our gates, but we don't actually own it. So I'm probably going to buy that first, just because it's within our boundaries. Don't want to have to be opening the gates to other people. Right. Yeah, construction site, placeables, etc. So it even says on the purchase sign what it's for. Eric Roberts is the owner of the land. What we could do is see if there are any contracts, well, any other areas of land owned by Eric Roberts. Date. It's not currently no missions. I think it's the second day of seasons that the missions kick in. Right, let's just go back to right, out you jump, Missy. We'll go get the plough hooked up, and bigger rise there than I thought. Get the plough hooked up, and we'll get this tractor working a field somewhere. We don't have any animals yet, we've just started the playthrough, so we don't have to worry about getting loads of baling equipment or that kind of stuff, which is why I sold the baler and didn't buy the other one. Don't need it just yet. Is this the Salford? No, it is the one that lifts. Okay, so it is the Coon plough. Yeah, it does turn. Right, so field 9 and 10 are up on a hill. Field 13 is up on a hill as well. I think field 13 is easy to get into. I think 13 and 34 will be our arable fields, 9 and 10. 10 I know that you get into through field 8, there's a track at the top of field 8. And 9 I've seen in people's videos is a bit of a pain to get any decent, like, large equipment into. We have a fairly large combine to begin with. We could downsize, but that would mean that then the bigger fields would take longer to harvest, so I think if we just stick to the bigger fields being the arable, and I'm going to put grass into the other fields if it isn't already grass. I think one of those fields is already grass. It's going to take a bit to get up this hill. This is quite a steep hill. Actually, we're doing 18. Yeah, so Jet, if you are still there, Jet, I don't know if I finished my sentence earlier. Basically, I was going to give you choice of what we plant first. Actually, is this 13 here? It says 13 here. Okay. I'll show you what the limitations are in a bit, because it does depend on ground temperature, so we do have to wait. I don't think we can plant anything until ground is at least 5 degrees, so it's going to be a little wait, but it's not going to be too bad. This is like a horse plate, so this version of Courseplay not going to work with it. Interesting. Might have to change which Courseplay I'm using. I was hoping to use that version of Courseplay because it would enable me to skip islands and things, but it looks like I'm not going to be able to do that. Right, give me a second, because I want Courseplay. I don't want to use a normal worker. Save game. And quit game. Back in a second, I'm just going to check Courseplay. I have to go to the default Courseplay instead. Jet is left according to the view count. Right, we're back, and it doesn't seem to want to. It doesn't seem to want to do the course. I don't know if that's because I'm using the dev version or what, or whether it's just something with the map. But I've definitely seen people using course play. So on the early version before the public release of this. So we'll just do general worker. Right, so okay. Right, meanwhile we to check field 10 what they are. I'm pretty sure they're grass fields. So field 9 is arable, but this is the gate to it, unless there's been another gate put in since, and it's a pain to get through unless you've got small equipment, as I was saying. Don't think you can come through else. Okay, and get into it from here, which you can get into from here, lead down to the farm. This is the cow field, so you can get in through the cow field. That's not ideal though. Could be better if I just did it as grass. Wanted. Trailer off. Let's get filled up. Let's have fertilization off. Grass selected. Yep. Yeah, then main entrance, turn right, go to the top of the hill, turn right again. That's how I'm gonna get that. Caught on little toadstool concrete thing there. Right, up we go. This is our sheep field off to the right. For all intents and purposes at the moment, it's a very big grass field at the moment for us because we don't have any sheep, don't have any animals. So yeah, the sheep and cows, we will probably cut their field before we put any animals actually in. We have another gate here. Okay. Interesting. Oh yeah, because this is the end of the private road, I'm guessing. Yeah, we're not going to be getting really big equipment around here, as you can probably tell. But that's what I like about these maps. This is a 1-to-1 scale map, so 1 meter difference change, whatever, in real life is represented as the same scale here. The acreage of the fields is correct to real life as well. Finally, the clouds are clearing. Another right turn up ahead. There we go, now the clouds are clearing back into double FPS. There we go, double digits. What I like to see. And that car there is part of scenery. They are blocking the gate to that field, but I think that's the edge of the map anyway, so it's obviously there for that reason, to cover up the fact that that is the edge of the map. Should be able to get this into the field, no problem. But yeah, I'm going to have, up the top of the hill here, we're going to have these fields as grass. It's just easier. And this is a decent sized field to make into a grass field as well. Okay. And we are in. Yeah, so you wouldn't want anything bigger than the smallest, or one of the smallest headers on a field like this. So that's the reason for turning this to grass. Force play works here. Calculate field edge. Yeah, so it works with this field. Interesting. Why not with 19? Maybe because of the island. Yeah, maybe because of the island. Right, so it works with this field, that's fine. I don't want to use it for this field though, I'm going to do this myself. Right, we've got grass selected, let's get it unfolded. Let's have that turned off while we set GPS up. Don't want an offset. 9.3, is that correct? Me to work with, not 9.3. That works. Let's get the lines roughly square with the edge. Okay, putting the grass in. There's the that's field 8 and the dirt track across the top of field 8, which leads to field 9. Another advantage of having this field as grass is that we don't have to go we don't own that field at the moment, and so by doing this we don't have to drive through a field that we don't own in order to get to the area that we do own. Physical game plays. Yes, there is an Armour 3 event on tonight at 9:30 GMT. Not 9:30. 9 o'clock start setup. Hoping for a 9:30 brief. But if you can be there for 9 o'clock and hang around, and if we're ready, we can go earlier. The events are on the Steam page. If you're not in the Steam group, let me know, and I can send you a Steam invite to the Steam group. Be there. Okay. Am I right in guessing that physical gaming is Kev? I seem to remember that that's who it is. Okay, it's Kev, by the way. There we go. As if by magic. If you knew what I was thinking. I did see your earlier message on TeamSpeak when my computer must have woke up yesterday evening. I wasn't actually awake when you messaged me, I don't think. If I was, I would have replied. I know that much, so... unless you messaged me when I was streaming. I don't think you did. But yeah, the events are on. As far as I know, they're on for next week as well. I just haven't put them up because I put them up week by week. As I've commented on mine, the reason I put the event up late this week was it didn't turn February until Thursday, so I didn't want to post the events on Wednesday in January and them not show up. 1 PM when you text. I may well have still been asleep or in bed at least. I had a pretty rough day. Wednesday, Thursday was pretty rough. With the irritable bowel syndrome stuff. Not lazy as such. I did stuff, but my bowels were playing up, so I wasn't really up to doing much. Yeah, it's something I'm gonna have now, forever. It's now what the doctors supposedly think brought on the hemorrhoids that I had the operation on back in last February now. Well, that's been a year ago. That's a year ago now. But having that operation, although it's got rid of the hemorrhoids, sort of 90%, it has, and it means that the irritable bowel will be more of a problem. so that will flare up now and again. It's fine. Let's crawl up the field. Good job I didn't choose to do this in the Fent. I don't think the Fent would even be able to power this on flatland, really. Yeah. It varies. It's not a brilliant thing, but at least I'm no well. Unless the irritable bowel gets bad, then I'm now no longer bleeding. Sort of a lot every time I'm at the toilet, kind of thing. So it wasn't nice, and what I'm gonna live with now is a lot better than what I was living with before my operation. So. I wish you the best getting past it. I'm gonna get food and stuff before the mission, so I'm not tied up. Alright, well, keep the stream open while you're getting your food if you want. There'll be interactive possibilities, such as what do we want to plant in field 13? It's currently being ploughed, but it will need some crop to go into there once the ground temperature gets high enough. I think the ground temperature is high enough for grass. I should have probably checked that before starting. Yeah, 3 degrees for grass, 5 degrees for everything else, pretty much. Sunflowers, we probably plant them late autumn when it gets warm enough. Same with soybeans, they're going to be a summer plantation, and corn. That's if we do corn. Soybeans, canola, barley, and wheat is what we can currently harvest with our harvester that we've got. So yeah, those are the main choices. I believe we also have, just check. We also have, yeah, we do have oats and things as well. I believe they will same as barley. Yeah, so we've also got oat, rye, spelt, and millet. Well, these are extra crops available during because of the map. But I'm just going to go for a base game thing at the moment. We'll go for either wheat, barley, or canola, or soybeans. Well, soybeans are later on in the year, so... when's the temperature going to be up? It's going to rain tomorrow, but the temperature should be good enough. So at some point tomorrow, or all of tomorrow, it's going to rain. But with that weather change comes... it's going to be a very wet spring, actually. It's kind of annoying. But with that weather change is going to come warmer temperatures. So the first number there is I think you've got air temperature and ground temperature. Not entirely sure. It might be daytime maximum temperature, nighttime maximum temperature. So the third day of spring, there's going to be a bit of a frost snap during the night. It's going to go down to -2, but other than that, things are going to pick up. The reason I'm being so pedantic about getting every single bit here is that this is going to be grass, which I don't want any spots in the grass field. If it was a crop and we were going to harvest it, it wouldn't matter as much, but once you turn a field to grass, and it stays as it, you don't want any brown spots of the old field poking through and stuff, so that's why I'm being doubly careful that I cover everywhere. Now we can spray in the rain, the fertilizer, so that could be a possibility. I need to do some contracting, build up some money in order to buy the land down at the bottom end of the yard as well. I've got a few buildings that I want to be putting in there. We've got the honey and bees mod to run. That's going to require space. We've got the umber mill, sawmill mod, where we can make our own planks of wood. We've got the straw add-on from Aerosoft. So we've got a building for that, which is for palletizing the pellets that we make. So there's plenty of placeable buildings, and if we just want more storage, we can put default storage stuff down there. So that beeping, if anybody's wondering, some of the beeps, so that beep there, the double beep, was GPS being unlocked. That beep, single beep, was GPS being locked, like locking me to the green GPS line. The other beeps were basically telling me it's part of proceed, basically telling me that the seeder is on but is lifted, and then the louder beep was when I lowered the seeder to let me know that the seeder was being lowered. Which you would have. You would have those kind of noises from cabin accessories and stuff that you would have in the truck. This is a Horsch seeder. It would have a Horsch component or some kind inside the cab unit of the tractor, possibly with the controls. It's a air driven system, this one. So there's no power actually drawn from the tractor. It's all an onboard unit. But you would have cables coming from the tractor to the unit for sending control signals down, such as raising, lowering, folding up, turning on the seed, all that kind of stuff. So that's beeping now to tell me that the seeder is on, but lifted. That beep tells me that I've just lowered it. Got a couple more rows, and then this field will be ready for spraying. Now I could have had fertilizer in here as well, but I didn't want to. And yeah. Actually going to lift it. I'm going to get in position because I want to get some grass into that bottom corner there. Okay. Right, so one row, maybe another little bit of tidying up after that row, and that should be this field done. Maybe a little bit of work just around the edges. I can see a bit over there that is not seeded. And why is this wheat? I've just noticed. It should be grass. Have I messed up and mixed crops? Fruit types. Strip there that apparently isn't anything. Now that is grass. Right, so apparently I've done one strip of grass and the rest as wheat. Interesting. I don't know when I switched it over to wheat, but oh well. Looks like this is going to be an arable field this year then. Oh, I know when it'll have been. I was flicking through I was flicking through the seeder options to show what was available for planting in field 13, and I probably forgot to set it back to grass. That's okay. We don't need GPS now. Right, well, in that case this field is definitely going to get fertilised. Right. So I wonder if it's going to be possible for me to override where I've planted grass. If I can get myself along. This row here. I do have cultivator in this. It's just whether it's going to work. Whether it'll count it as taking the grass seed out and putting wheat seed in, or seed is definitely going down. Yes, it is. It's reseeding. Good. So we'll have to turn around and do the same row at the top, just to make sure. It's a good job I came down here though, because we've missed this bit. That bit there. I believe it's this row. There you go. I did not know that F2 brought up an FPS counter. So you see the seed isn't changing here because there's already wheat seed in the ground and I've got wheat selected. So you'll know when we get to the bit where we're replacing the grass seed, because the seed counter will go down. It's in this corner somewhere. Might even be over a row. Yeah, I think it is. Oh, there we go. Went down. A couple of litres went down. It won't hurt for a bit of grass to grow, but if we've messed it up and planted it as wheat, we may as well plant it all as wheat. Right, that is now all wheat. Good. Turn GPS off. Let's just go see how the worker is getting on. Doing okay. Nowhere near ready for me to bring the seeder over there though. We put the seeder by the field, I suppose. Not going to be needed anywhere else unless we go over to field 34 and seed that. Although really that should be ploughed as well. The arable fields I want to plough because that's going to give me 10% bonus to my yield for the next 3 harvests, which in the case of seasons means I only need to plough the fields if I'm changing crop drastically, i.e. that I'm going from a cereal crop to a root crop. I would then need to get rid of the remains of the cereal crop, the stubble. Otherwise I'd just direct drill. Or every 3 years. It's every 3 harvests. Every year and a half if I do a summer and winter crop. If I plant in the spring, harvest in the summer, and then plant in the autumn, harvest in the spring. Right, we'll go down this way. We haven't don't think we've been down this way yet. So this is the other way down, back down to the farm. It goes over a very nice little stream. You can just see down there to the left. FPS is gonna drop down here, I expect it to. There's trees, there's flowing water, all kinds of stuff. And here's the bridge. And there's all these houses around here as well. Gold nugget off to the side there, I do believe that it is. Yes, I've discovered a gold nugget. Well, there's £1 million that we can make fairly easily. The one across the road there. Alright, let's pull up here. Pull up on the path. And go back and get that gold nugget. Maybe. Yeah, there it is. I was going to say, I thought it was in this person's garden. Let's have a quick look around, see if we can find any others around here. That's the edge of the map. Nice that, although it's the edge of the map, it's still mapped on the map. There's another one over there, I can just see it. Yeah, very subtle boundary to the map there, I like that. Map creation actually goes beyond what we can get to. Always good. We can get up to 10 nuggets. It will show us where the other 90 are, and if we get all 100, that'll give us £1 million. I'd be very surprised if there wasn't. Oh, there it is by the trampoline. I was going to say I'd be surprised if there wasn't one in this garden here. Over there, through the hedge, by the trampoline. Go on the trampoline. Can't. Okay, now I'm stuck. Right. not this turn. That's a power substation or something. It's probably a small dike in the river there that's generating some electricity. Guarantee there's going to be gold nuggets around these houses. Somewhere is our back entrance to the farm. We'll pull onto our track so that we're not blocking the entrance. There we go. Nobody can complain at us being here because this is our road. A look around, there's bound to be. Got music playing again. Just pause NCS. Listen to the organ. Actually some people singing there this time, so there are different tracks being played. That's nice. Before it was just some organ. There's actually people singing in there now. There's an actual service going on, or choir practice or whatever. Excel point. Yep, no, I thought there would be one in here. Surprised there's only one. Maybe there's just like one at each landmark or whatever. This is nice as well, because this is actually a thing that happens if you get a building on the edge of a graveyard, or even like against the edge of the church here. That is something that happens, that gravestones get put right up against it, not just in a yard like that, but against the building. That's quite stick. Can we get up here? We can, but there isn't a nugget. Truck, there is one in the truck. It's going too fast to get into it. Thought there might have been one in the truck. Speed down to normal. There we go. I've got more nuggets hiding inside them. Here's all the map testers from the Frontier. Yeah, so it's Oxygen David and Bullet Bill of the Frontier design. I thought they teamed up. So these are all the testers. So thank you to these guys and to the Frontier design team, especially Oxygen David and Bullet Bill, for putting this map together. Nice to have this little board here as well. I mean, it's designed obviously to look like a church notice board, and then it's got the map tester names on. It's a nice little touch, nice way of doing it. It doesn't need a huge plaque saying, "Oh, I made this map," and blah 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 blah. It's just simple, but also in keeping with the rest of the map, so it doesn't actually look out of place. Right, let's get the tractor back into the yard then. I think what I might do is clear those trees from the entrance here. Leave the door open, we'll be back in a minute. Gate, rather. It's not a door. That's a nugget. Again, we'll just use this bottom shed for now, because it's the easy place to put stuff. There's the script I was on about that improves the performance. Everything in that shed disappears once you get a certain distance away from it. I think it's determined by LOD, the distance that you have set for objects to load in as well. Basically, if I look away, if I don't look in the shed like that, it's not trying to render it, even though it's in the shed, even though I can't see it. It's very good. If I back away from the shed, trailer disappear, even the tractor disappears. It's close enough in there. Right, how much was this bill? 58,000. Eric Roberts. Let's see. Are there any other bits of land owned by Mr. Roberts? That would be a good thing to have, actually. It would be a thing to tell you who owns what land. If Eric Roberts is the sole owner of Area 50, he doesn't own anything else. A bit annoying. Grass and want something that isn't grass. Arable fields. Harris. Base. Eric Roberts, here we go. Hasn't got any missions available for us currently. Let's go forward time by about 20 minutes. Then we'll see again. Sometimes it just takes it to update. So he's either going to be doing a late crop, possibly a summer plant or something like that, but he isn't doing his land preparation yet. But he does own other areas, so field 19, that would be a big field for us to work, but it would pay. Robinson. So the owners have it rather spread out as to what they earn. I checked for it. It's grass fields up. That looks like it was sugar beet or potato or something. Recently been... Right, James Harris is going to pay us 2,000 to fertilise the field for him, so let's do that. See what equipment we can do it with. Let's go with that. First thing we're going to do is turn everything around. Pointed the wrong way. Hopefully it doesn't say return to field, as we are screwed. We're good. GPS set up in a second as well. You can see the GPS box on top of the tractor, so we definitely use it with this, no problem. Let's get it unfolded. It's a big bit of machinery, this. There's some horsepower in this tractor. It's doing this quick. Don't normally get to pull this sort of trailer this quickly. And we're going uphill. Good to see. Let's go off the GPS course a little bit because I lined it up with the end of the field down there, but the field edge isn't perfectly straight, so we'll eyeball it first on the first run and then we'll overlap on the second run. So yeah, with Seasons mod, you don't get a time bonus on the work you do, I don't think, or at least on the other maps that I've been running Seasons mod. I haven't been getting time bonuses, even if I've like completed the mission within half the time and stuff, you still get a 0 as a time bonus. So it does make it harder. I am also playing this on normal difficulty, I think, rather than easy difficulty. So if I screw up with the animals, they will die. Which is why we don't have any right at the start, because I want to be able to prepare for getting the animals, not have to rush into buying bales and doing all sorts of things in order to try and keep them alive for the first year that we're in the farm. Yeah, we'll just go back on the stars. It's a good setup, this. I'm not usually one to go for these tractors with the tracks on the back, but it does make sense if, say if this was going to be like the dedicated tractor for this job, doing this trailer, it would make sense to maybe do that, especially with the terrain as well. You're going to want that traction on the hills. I don't know if the same setup just with wheels instead of tracks would be better or worse. Without getting the tractor and doing it, I wouldn't know. But yeah, it's not a setup I usually go for. In FS17, I never bought the New Holland with this wheel setup for myself. I had bought it for other people to use when we did multiplayer. But regardless of the power, the horsepower that the tractor had, that it came with, I just didn't like using it. But it's a setup that's grown on me. I think the shape of the case here suits the tracks better. I'm going to do a bit of a headland pass here so that we're not always turning around in the hedge. And then I'll come back up the other side. I'll go down. Yeah, I'll do a loop round, and then carry on going up and down. Again, we'll just eyeball the headland. Now we've got the crawl up the hill. But once we're up there, we'll then be going across the hill again. So, be okay then. Here we go, and because we've done that headland pass, that now counts as half the field sprayed. Ejected. Not mean to do that. There we go. Tractor sounds will have gone for a bit, but the music will be there in the background. I'm just tabbing out to check the Armouth events for tonight, tomorrow night. Okay. Right, and now that I've done this headland pass, I can turn or the end of the field, and when the GPS makes its beep, instead of turning at the end of the field and either missing areas or ending up in the bush. So, yeah, let us know what you want us to do in the field that's being ploughed, field 13. If I don't get an option or choice from stream chat, I'll basically just go to somebody in TeamSpeak. We'll like set each crop as a number, and I won't tell them what the crop is. I'll just say choose a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever, and I could even do that through the new bot that I've got. Actually, we could get Mjolnir to do a selection. I think somehow. Go. We got 2 and a bit, 1 and a bit passes to do now. We're only getting a couple of thousand for this, but I mean, look at the size of the equipment we're getting to use, and it's a pretty easy job. Fertilizing doesn't pay a great deal in the base game either. The main thing with the fertilizing is because it's easy to do, and it's quick, and you normally get a good time bonus, but we won't get the time bonus because of Seasons mod. But we can whip out quite a few contracts like this, and then we can do it. Talking of doing contracting like this, in terms of the contracting, should we only do contracting for a certain person in the year, and then another year or another season or whatever move on from that person, do other stuff? Obviously, as we get our money set up, as we get the farm set up, as we get more equipment and more jobs that we can do throughout the year, we'll do less contracting, because our time will be taken up either doing work on our own land and farm, or managing workers that are doing work on our own land and farm. But let me know. Should I say only be doing contract work for the guy who owns the land down by the farm? Talking of which, we can see the farm from here. It's that grey area down there with the buildings. There we go, 2091. Cute. And now he wants us to plough it. Fat chance. I don't do my own ploughing, or very rarely. I'm not going to do your ploughing. Eric Roberts, still no mission there. 200,000 actually for a field that size is a good price. See how the worker's getting on. Doing okay. We could get another plough. Where are we looking? Ploughs. Oh yeah, I was gonna get a chainsaw and take out those trees. Don't have to do that right now, it was an idea. Ploughs. There they are. This requires 180. Our Fent has 165, but we could upgrade the Fent. So you can get 240 horsepower out of these Fent 700s. You get the Fent 724 has 240 horsepower. Alternatively, we could switch and put the Massey doing the ploughing with the bigger plough, but although it's nearing 300 horsepower, this is our big tractor, and I want to use it for me, my work. don't want to be doing. I don't mind a worker doing the work slow, so long as they are doing it and getting it done, which this guy is. He's doing a good job. Alternative is we get a modded plow. 70 horsepower. That's 3.6 meters wide. Fent would be able to work with that, just about. 20,000. What would we get for selling our current plow? We're going to get at least half the money for that. That's doable. We got the pickup truck as well. Let's sell the pickup truck. And let's get the other plow. In fact, let's order the plow now. Shop. Get this, the Yimpa FS17, 20,000, 3.6 meter working width. The Bednar's the other one that I normally go for, but that requires a lot of horsepower. So yeah, let's get the Yimpa. This is a new plow pack that I've installed. I've not actually used these yet, so this would be good. Buy that. Requires 170 horsepower. We've got 165 on the Fent now, so it should be able to do it. And even if it does it a little bit slower than it's currently ploughing, then it's ploughing a wider area. So, and because it's a straight plough, it's a subsoil plough. We won't need to. I'm gonna drive the Massey because it's slower. We'll have that following. Yeah, because the because it's a straight plough, the tractor will spend less time at the ends of the fields, turning around and turning the plough and doing all that kind of stuff. May even have enough money with this transaction that we'll do to buy this construction land here. In which case I might get the construction roller as well. I've got the ground replacement mod thing, the roller, so we could do some tarmacking in there, or at least pour some concrete. There's another choice actually, and will be what ground texture we put into that area. Orbley Church. That way. Yeah. What's this sign say? A windy road, yes indeed. Although it's got windy before that sign, maybe it's just like it's windier, but it's pretty windy here already. Hopefully the pickup truck doesn't screw up coming through here and slide around and things like the Fent. No, it's with us. That field seems to have been worked. Into this passing point actually and have a check. let's to here. What field is this? 81. See what this looks like. Obviously a piece of equipment that I've installed recently because it's not one I recognise. Ah, it's one of the new tanks. Yeah, I thought I had. Oh no, it's a class weight. I thought it was a Fendt weight then. So this is obviously a lot smaller working width, which is why we're getting paid more money to do it. Picture's a little bit weird. It doesn't look like it should go onto a 3-point, but it does. Maybe it sits on top of the 3-point now. I don't know. I don't think it's designed to work with this tractor. Yeah. That, I think, is supposed to go into the class Axion. Right, let's abandon field. Cancel the contract, and then we'll go back in and try it again. Yeah. If it would give us the Axion, I think it would work. Not that Axion. It's probably not called the Axion. This is the Axion. It's Xeros or something, maybe, called. Don't think I'm going to be able, unless I do the big wide sprayer thing again, which I don't really want to do because it's only £2,000. It's not going to give us. It's not going to give us the right setup, is it? Right. Let's go back to what we were doing. Oh, I don't know if I've mentioned this during this stream. I know I've not. I know I've been updating in other streams. Job-wise, emailed today. They have finally received my last work reference. My induction, as people will already know, has already been done. I passed that. That's all fine. So now I'm just waiting on my enhanced DBS form to arrive at my door, and I can photocopy that, send it to my employer, and that should be it then. They've already got my photo and stuff, so they can then make their ID card and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it should be all good then. I should be able to start work. Which will be good. Paid work as well, not volunteer work, which is what I'm doing at the moment and have been doing. So there's a forestry area down there. Tane Lane. Local, it's just a house there, not a farm, I think. It's growing some veggies in the back. Actually, no, that might be the farmhouse for the pig farm. Yes, it is. Yeah, that's what I would say that is. What we could do as a thing is say that we don't own the pig farm as well. It has actually got a separate farm name. It is a separate farm. It's not part of the same system. It's this is Oakfield Glen, and this is Oakfield Farm. And I think that is Oakfield Glen Farm, something like that. I know there's a sell point in there that's Oakfield Glen Barns, which is a straw sell point, a bale sell point. But that is also where the pigs and chickens are. So bit of FPS drop here as stuff loads in and the car's being animated, all that kind of stuff. And the street lamps as well. Thought he was going to go my way. This truck goes, is he going to go round? No, he's turning. Okay. Go left here. Which is which motorway? The M5. I've been on the M5. The A436 to Gloucester. Foliage killing the frames around here. We'll go third person, it's a little bit better. Will get worse in the summer, so we will need to do some forestry at some point. If anything, just to clear up some trees, improve our visibility around the area and improve FPS in some areas. But that's fine, that's all part of the job. Now that's definitely a pub or something off there. There's bound to be gold nuggets in there. Actually, I'd be surprised if there wasn't one behind the burger van somewhere. Right, so here's our new plough. Very nice indeed. Well, technically it's our new subsoiler, but for our purposes in this game, it will act as a plough. By worker. Let's bring this around here. And let's sell it. 54,000. So yeah, we could now get field 50 if we wanted. So we're going to take this up to the Fent. Even actually just have it on this tractor and do some ploughing work in that field. And then once that field's done, switch this over to the Fent, sell the old plough. Although we don't have to sell it, we could keep it for now as an available asset. Oh, you came up a bit quick, sunshine. Actually, we'll park up here. Have a look around the village, see if there's any more gold nuggets. Probably going to be some in here. I don't know how well they're going to be hidden. They're just going to be behind stuff, between stuff. Saying that, there was one in a truck. In the flatbed of the truck, there's one. But once we get to 10, it'll give us an icon to show us where all the other ones are. And then we'll really be able to get some equipment. One of the first things will be a second roughly 300 horsepower tractor. Possibly a second Massey Ferguson, as we seem to have started with quite a bit of Massey equipment. Got the Massey tractor, the Massey combine. We've also now bought a Massey trailer. Yep, got you. Cheeky. Get up there. Go along that. Surprised if you could. That doesn't look climbable. Ah, now this is the hose that was in the farm. And as far as I can see, it's exactly the same object. Actually, even a coil not matching up quite right there. I mean, but as a looking at it from a distance kind of thing, you can tell what it is. It's a hose coiled up. There's the nugget. Right, so we found 10. So that's now going to show us where all the rest are. Quite a lot over the other side of the map, but quite a few around here as well. Okay. So we now know where they are definitely, and we can get them if we need to. Quite a few around here. In fact, let's have a little run around here. Get some. Here. One of those hoses. I'm amazed it failed in the yard. On top of the building. I'm amazed that the map failed based on that hose when there's so many of that object around yet. Can we parkour? We can. There we go. Some in the beach of it, or up in the woods. The effort to make that enterable, I would. It's on top, so I'd be surprised if there wasn't. The others are up there, definitely. They're in the woods. It's the easiest way to get up there, probably. Yeah. Back of here, get up. Evergreens around here. My guess is inside the barn. It's possible to get into the barn? No, it's on the barn. Okay. Now we're going to get up there. Might have to bring a vehicle up to get this one. Ooh. There's a bug. See? Now, I don't know what was going on with the hose, or what it was, whether it was polygons or anything like that. It could have just been something to do with the item rather than where it was placed. But if it was to do with where it was placed, then how did this not get seen? I'll screenshot that and send it to Oxygen. He may or may not do anything about it, and it depends how much he wants to fix and how much he wants to update the map now that it's out. I suppose people will just be glad that it is out and they'll be able to play it. Yeah, we'll leave that nugget and we'll get up there when we come up to do some forestry. Just get the ones that are down in the pub area. Around here. Get out of here. Which is this little field. Ah, this is another little Eric Roberts one. 15,000 for this area. That's a decent grass field. We'll have that, Mr. Eric. Yeah, we'll have that off you. Thank you. That's field 25, okay. Well, that's nice. The Frontier, they've made pub umbrellas, pub garden umbrellas with the Frontier designs, colours and logo and stuff on. Get into there and then we've got to go round. One. Two. Three. Right, so there's the one up in the forest, and then there's a group of them up, like really up in the forest. And by field 11 at the end where the animal market buy-in place is. We'll leave those there for now. We've done enough gold nuggets. So now that says lower cultivator, but this was in the I suppose that means lower the cultivator bit. Yeah, so this can be a plough or a cultivator. It's a subsoiler, but it can be used as a plough subsoiler, or it can be used as a cultivator subsoiler. Basically different depths of subsoiling, I guess. But it does have the allow create fields there as well, so it is definitely a plough in that sense. But yeah. And the lower cultivator actually is... no, that is on V. I was going to say if it was on Y, but it isn't. Y is to create fields. We'll have to see what it does. It's that area there. That more flat land for building on. It's 39. Interesting area. So that's a tree. Quite a few nuggets at the pig farm here. So where's the entrance to there? I went straight past a gold nugget there. Let's get this up into the field. Right, so if we take the next right, that's going to take the second right, go all the way down, basically. Not this turn, but the next turn. Yeah. What's this area? It's the sawmill. It's just a sell point. Let's go have a look. It's interesting. Oh, this is the other entrance to the farm. This is the front entrance, not the main entrance, but it is an entrance. Is this the sawmill? Yeah, Gloucestershire sawmill. Cool. I love how the cultivator roller is dirty, and this hasn't even been in the ground. It's not been used. We've driven down a road. Yes, there would be some dirt fly up from the wheels, but like the metal bit would be dirty in that case as well. Of the field sizes on this, like the 1-to-1 proper acreage and stuff. That was kind of the step that these British style maps were missing, because people always have the tight lanes, the small farmyards, all that kind of stuff down to a T. What they don't do is illustrate just how big a British farm can be. And Gloucestershire, for example, is one of the big farming counties in England. And yeah, like there is a lot of land that is put aside for farm. Nowhere near as much the size in the amount of land as in, say, America or Australia, but those are bigger countries for a start, and they have higher populations to feed, so it makes sense that they have more arable or agricultural land. To take us up past the farm here on the right. So there's probably a load of nuggets in. Yeah. And we'll be going up to 13. Yeah. This little fant that could has done quite a bit. We've done about a third of the field. Now it wants to do it. Maybe it didn't like that plough, or didn't think I was in the field when I was down there. Okay, so courseplay does work. I didn't actually I didn't change version of courseplay when I restarted my game, because I was on the latest version of the dev bit anyway. There's no point doing courseplay on this field now because we've already ploughed a lot of it. Right, so it is ploughing. Oh, that is completely in the ground like a subsoiler. Wow. That's awesome. And I do believe that may even be leaving its own texture. It's a different plough texture. Maybe the Fent would struggle with this. I don't know. We could always bump up the engine size in the Fent. So if I planted wheat in there, that means I've planted that wheat too early. So that wheat might die. I have wasted that seed anyway. I only planted it because I was thinking it was grass that I was planting. Do need to get my washing out of the washer, actually, as well. Got some jumpers in there that need to be hung to dry. What I might do is, once this guy flips round, put him onto a worker and just kind of spectate the worker whilst I sort my washing. Definitely works though. It's a good subsoiler. Very nice. That should be okay on a worker for a bit now. Right, I'll leave you with these guys, and we will come back in a minute. I'll have a toilet break, sort my washing out, do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, stay with us. I'll be back in a few minutes.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down.
Okay, and I'm back. And of course, it decided to go this way, of course it did. Interesting how it must have got turned around. It must have gone down, hit the island, turned around, come back, and like turned around again instantly. In order to do that, it's kind of odd. Yeah, I think the issue with Courseplay was that I wasn't technically on the field, because look at the amount of space that that worker is leaving. And that's fine, because I'll come back and do it as a headland, so... Which we'll put this guy on a worker. Because I need to message people quickly to remind them about the Armor 3 event, but other than that, we're good to go. Right, messages sent. We need to switch this Massey over to the other side. Plant is going to be done fairly soon. It's the big field. Probably end up with possibly want 2 of these plows, or maybe even some bigger ones. 4.8 requires 225, so the Massey should be able to do that. Yeah, 300 horsepower we've got on the Massey at the moment. 45, 375. So we could get 4.8 for the Massey or something similar to the Massey. Once we get up to the area where we're getting 400 horsepower, then we can look at getting the biggest one. Wouldn't hurt to have a collection of them, of different sizes, different horsepower requirements, so that different tractors can use them in different size fields. Certainly would not hurt. And what I'll do is once this gets down to the end here, I'll do that strip that's been missed, and I'll come back down and tidy up the end of the field here, as it seems that the Fendt is not going to go all the way up and down the field, same as the Massey is doing. That could just be because of the type of plough though, that it that's its working limit kind of thing. It might actually be that it's just keeping in line with where it first ploughed, because it hit the edge of the field. Oh, this guy is now stopping as well. Okay. Definitely something going on there. Are we able to plough it without create fields turned on? Yes. So it is a field. It's just not registering as a field to the worker. This really is a beautiful map though. Good job, Oxton, Javid, Bullet Bill, everybody else. They probably are my 2 favourite map makers. I mean, if you just look at the maps that I play over and over, they are the creators of those maps. They just, and it's UK maps as well. I'm sure if they wanted to, they could do the same with American maps or whatever. The beauty of this is they do the work in progress forums and things on FS UK, and you get to see the pictures. They go to the place, and like they'll have a look around on Google Maps first to make sure it's worth it, and then they'll go to the place and they'll go and they'll take pictures and they'll map it out, and other map makers do as well, but not to the extent that these guys have gone to. stop the vent when it gets to the top end. Okay, well, once we get to the top here, guys, I'm going to have to make sure that things are ready and will be in motion for the Armour 3 event night for the Realism group. Thanks for watching, those that have been here, and thanks for your chat and input, those that gave it. If you haven't followed already and you want to know what I'm up to, when I'm up to, what I'm up to and when I'm up to it, then do consider following. It helps the channel to get out there and get known. You can definitely look forward to more Oakfield play. It's going to be time consuming, the fields are big, but this is the actual size, like compared to the size of the tractor, this is how big the field would be, within a few meters or whatever. So yeah, expect plenty of playing on this map, as well as other games. But that's going to be it for now. Let's get this off the ploughed area. We'll have to do some headland passes at the end. That's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for coming along and supporting. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Cheerio.